Hi there, I'm Kadie Cleveland, and this is Walking Together, a Christian parenting podcast. My education in early childhood development and social and emotional learning helps me to teach God's Word to kids each week, but I want you parents to be the main teachers of the faith to your kids. Join us each week as we explore topics that both kids and parents can use to build their relationships to God and with each other. Welcome back, friends. We took a little break for the Easter holidays, but now I'm back to talk about our walks moving towards Jesus in this crazy parenting thing we call life. Our last couple episodes, we talked about how busy our kids are and what unstructured play looks like. And today, I want to discuss what does it mean to protect our kids but not be overprotective. All these recent episodes are topics covered in this documentary called Chasing Childhood, which came out in the mid-2000s. Our school principal here had our wholehearted learning team watch the documentary, and a lot of thoughts came into my mind which inspired some of these episodes. Basically, it explores the idea that we don't let kids be kids anymore by overstructuring their time and planning out their futures. Also, how we tend to keep them in this bubble under our constant supervision. So it got to me thinking, what about this could be true for our St. John's kids? Which is why I interviewed a few of them last week and got some interesting points of view from both our fourth graders and some of our second graders. Towards the end of the documentary, they talked to some parents and convinced them to let their kids take a train or a bus by themselves to get to a friend's house. These kids were probably like fourth grade age, and I will admit, I was a little uncomfortable with it, just watching the video and watching how these young children got across town by themselves. But it did show that these kids were capable of using their independence, which also got me thinking, how protective is too protective? First, let's go to the Bible and see what it says. The most well-known verse is Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way they should go, and then and when they are old, they will not stray from it. Or Proverbs 29:15. The rod of reproof gives wisdom, but a child left to themselves will bring shame to his mother. What's interesting about these verses is it doesn't talk about shielding children, but training them up and teaching them. My favorite one comes from Matthew 18:6. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believes in me to sin, it would be better if he had a millstone tied around his neck and thrown into the sea. The context for that one is Jesus talking to his disciples who had tried to keep children from coming to him. He tells them that everyone must be like one of these little children to enter the kingdom of heaven. And then he goes on to say that if anyone causes them to sin, well, you get the picture from the earlier passage. It's not good. But the point is Jesus doesn't want kids to be kept from him. I was listening to the radio yesterday, and the DJ said that rather than hiding the world from her kids, they talked about the world's view and the kingdom of heaven's view on things. In her mindset, it was more so about training up her kids that gave them the most protection. Of course, there are some things your kids aren't ready for. And you know what? It's your judgment call to know when they're ready and when they're not. Here's your question for the week. Kids, what are some of the areas in your life that you think you're ready to handle? It could be being left alone at home for the first time, or maybe riding your bike to the park on your own. What do you think you're ready for? Parents, what is it that your kids are ready to be trained up in? What have you been shielding them or protecting them from that they might need training up in instead? This is Kadie Cleveland, and this is Walking Together. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you later.